From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Our top story this evening, the Tanana Valley State Fair is facing yet another lawsuit, this time from a local restaurant.
LaBelle's Bistro filed the paperwork this afternoon in Fairbanks District Court, citing breach of contract with the fair in an amount of $100,000. According to the suit filed by lawyer Bill Satterberg, the two entities signed an agreement in 2009 stating LaBelle's would be the exclusive operator of the alcohol tent at the fair, giving them first rights of refusal. However, this year the fair decided to go with another provider, the Oasis. After a change in management last year, Satterberg stated the good faith nature of the agreement came into question, over $3,000 due for entertainment fees, along with additions to the contract such as porta potties and dumpsters. Court documents also reference the previous lawsuit filed by Golden Wheel Amusements and other issues with vendors, further stating the attitude in management was, quote, not in the best interest of the public it serves.
A Fairbanks man charged with felony assault pleaded guilty today in Fairbanks Superior Court as part of a plea deal. 21-year-old George Gabriel Peter pleaded guilty to assault in the 4th degree and received a suspended sentence of 360 days in jail. According to authorities, Peter stabbed another man with scissors after a disagreement over an ex-girlfriend. Prosecution said the fight was alcohol-fueled and Peter could have been acting out of self-defense, although that was not clear. Further citing the stab wounds were not deep, both sides agreed to the lesser charges. Peter was originally facing assault in the 2nd degree, which is a Class B felony that could carry up to 10 years in prison. Peter will remain on probation without alcohol for 3 years.
Natural gas has been a carrot dangling in front of Interior Alaska residents for some time now as they continue to deal with soaring energy costs. Jamie Schwartzwald has a wrap-up of an Energy for All Alaska Task Force special meeting.
Signs of natural gas coming to the interior as crews with Fairbanks Natural Gas bore underneath C Street in Hamilton Acres. FNG is trenching earth and running residential gas lines in several Fairbanks neighborhoods.
We're putting in about 33 miles of pipe, and the pipe's running past the potential connections for up to 2,700 new customers.
Tuesday evening, Smith joined representatives from the Alaska Industrial Development and Export Authority, or ADA, the Interior Gas Utility, and MWH Global at a community energy meeting put on by the Fairbanks Economic Development Corporation. MWH is the infrastructure development company tabbed by ADA to build and operate a natural gas supply plant on the North Slope and truck gas to the interior. Chris Brown, the operations manager for MWH in Alaska, says the target for delivering gas to the interior is the 3rd quarter of 2016. This is a big month for MWH as it is negotiating take-or-pay contracts with interior utilities who will then distribute gas to customers. Under Governor Sean Parnell's Interior Energy Plan, natural gas is to be delivered to the interior at a rate of 40 to 50% cheaper than traditional diesel heating oil. Brown says that price will be determined by the level of demand throughout the supply chain.
They talked about demand being the big risk. I think that's true. I think that that's very closely linked to the cost, the ultimate cost of the gas to the consumer. The lower the cost, the less demand risk, frankly.
Remember, we don't have a single customer, and so to go from that to anticipating 12,000 customers ultimately when we have a full build-out is not without its challenges, considering the number of people that will have to be able to convert their systems to receive natural gas.
Some concerns of the nearly 100 people who attended the meeting centered around the cost of converting their homes or business to receive natural gas. Costs are reportedly as high as $20,000 for a full boiler replacement. The state legislature has considered the creation of a low-interest loan program to assist homeowners with conversion costs. ADA has already approved over $20 million in loans to FNG and IGU to beef up distribution networks. The Interior Energy Project is a joint venture between state agencies, municipal and private utilities, combined with a private sector company in MWH. A common theme Tuesday night, cooperation.
The community will be buying the gas, the individual consumers, the utilities will be stepping up for take-or-pay agreements, and so their participation, their support of the project is critical to making it go.
Jamie Schwartzwald, News Center 11.
All right, when we come back, we will have your weekly military report.
Also, we'll let you know what's happening at Pioneer Park. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Fbx Evening News. This past spring, a majority of the tribes in the Tanana Chiefs Conference region signed a resolution agreeing to a Chinook fishing moratorium in order to conserve Chinook for future generations. The resolutions also called for long-term and emergency fishing regulations that would significantly reduce the Chinook bycatch for the Bering Sea pollock industry. Finally, the resolution supported the creation of a Yukon River Intertribal Fish Commission to co-manage Chinook in the Yukon River. TCC President Victor Joseph wants to make sure that all concerned realize the sacrifices that are being made to adhere to the moratorium.
What we're asking for here in the resolution also asks for is that piece where we have a voice at the table with the state of Alaska and the feds regarding our fisheries. We rely on that as a food source, not only for the summer but throughout the winter, as many Alaskans do. And it's very important for us that we are at the table, having a voice, discussing the management of this fish.
The sacrifice and restraint seems to be paying off, with latest estimates showing Chinook return numbers on the higher end of projections.
A driver is safe after jumping her car across a drainage ditch earlier this morning. The woman lost control of her car on the Badger Road exit. She left the road and raced toward a 40-foot wide ditch filled with water. Her car flew into a series of culverts and bounced across the ditch. Fairbanks police say the woman was driving under the influence and that she was transported to Fairbanks Memorial Hospital with minor injuries. They say she is very lucky to have reached the other side.
A couple feet either direction, and the vehicle could easily end up in the river, upside down in the river, and have catastrophic consequences. Make sure to stay safe, drive at good speeds, even in these nice road conditions. Drive sober, so we don't end up with a drunken Evel Knievel situation.
As one drill ends, new work begins to get the next Red Flag Alaska exercise up and running. Monty Bowen has details in this week's military report.
Red Flag provides U.S. and allied pilots, air crews, and operational support personnel a chance to train and improve their air combat skills to deal with any contingency. Red Flag 14-2 was completed at the end of June, with forces from the U.S., Japan, and Australia taking part. All three countries were using the C-130 aircraft.
For Red Flag, I've come here as an avionics technician to support the aircraft that we have. We have two C-130J Hercules here for the missions. So as an avionics technician, I'm trained up in all the electrical systems of the C-130J Hercules, from wiring repairs to communications to electronic warfare. We've been a part of Red Flag Alaska before, but this year's special. We are debuting a recent upgrade on one of our electronic warfare systems.
It gives each unit a better understanding of how the other works and also brings together people within their own units.
Coming here with a contingency of 68 people, it's great to get to know one another on a better level, and also working as a team away from home, it has a sense of mateship. Also working with the foreign militaries is great for our future. So when we are in a real life scenario, we know how to approach different militaries.
The next Red Flag will start August 7th, and the last one of the year is set for October 2nd. This is Monty Bowen reporting.
The Military Report is brought to you by Stanley Nissan. Innovation for all.
It's time again to check in with our friends at Pioneer Park. This week, it's all about one of the biggest events in the interior each summer.
Hello and welcome back to another edition of What's Happening at Pioneer Park. It seems as though the rain is gone, and just in time, because today we're going to be talking to the Executive Director of the Fairbanks Chamber of Commerce about one of the biggest events of the year, Golden Days. We're joined now by Lisa. So Lisa, tell us what we can expect this year for Golden Days.
Yeah, we've got a jam-packed schedule of events. On Wednesday, we have the ConocoPhillips kickoff party happening right here at 5 o'clock. We have the BP Senior Luncheon happening on Thursday afternoon. And on Friday, it's about the kids during the Alyeska Pipeline Young Pioneers Day. And Friday evening is the Chevy of Fairbanks Comedy Night.
Wow, so okay, now tell me the name of this year's Golden Days. I love it.
It is the Gold and the Beautiful.
The Gold and the Beautiful, that's great. So come on down, check out the Gold and the Beautiful kicking off here inside the park. Today's vendor spotlight is on the creperie. Sweet and savory crepes from Bulgaria to Alaska. So as you can see, as each year there's tons of stuff to do, especially right here inside Pioneer Park for the start of Golden Days. Come on out, celebrate one of the best times of the year here in Fairbanks, because that's what's happening this week at Pioneer Park. So it's always a fun time there at Pioneer Park. And
yeah, absolutely.
Golden Days is another huge thing. So
favorite time of the year
looking
is
forward to that.
yeah, Golden Days.
Have you gotten your ducks yet?
We got 2 tickets, absolutely.
You know, I have not yet.
You better, because they run out each year.
I know. I need to drop some ducks.
Some bucks for ducks.
Bucks for ducks.
Gotcha. All right, Joe Cook is next with sports. He doesn't have any ducks, but he does have highlights from last night's Gold Panthers baseball game.
Also, you'll see Joe getting some tips in a popular summer sport. I wonder what it is.
Shooting ducks, maybe. I don't know. Stay tuned.
Hello, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here to Sports Seat for you this Wednesday evening with sports. The Gold Panthers open their 5-game series against the Kenai Peninsula Oilers in a big way on Tuesday night. The Oilers visiting Groudon Memorial Park for the first time this summer in the first meeting between the two teams. They will get well acquainted. Both teams with red jerseys, but Jeff Paschke broke the scoreless tie, giving the Oilers a 1-0 lead. The Oilers were ahead 2-1 into the bottom of the 5th inning, and that's when Alaska went off. Coley Nolf, big game from him. One of his 2 homers, this one out to left and over the fence to get the game tied at 2-all. That started a nice outburst for the Panthers. They scored 5 runs at the bottom of the 5th inning to take a 6-2 lead. Brandon Caruso had the eagle eye at the plate for the Panthers, going 4 for 5, 3 runs scored and 2 ribbies. Alaska liked matching numbers because they exploded again in the bottom of the 7th with 7 runs, highlighted by Nolf's grand slam. Alaska outscored Kenai 11-1 after the 5th, 6th, and 7th innings. The defense was there as well. Jace Puckett got the win, throwing 6 strikeouts in 6 innings with only 3 earned. The Panthers allowed only a single run in the 4 innings the Oilers did score. Alaska wins 14-5 and move into 2nd place in the AL. Nolf talks about what he saw in his first multi-home run game.
I got a pitch on the inner half both times, and I was looking for it, and I didn't miss it. I was just going up there looking to do my job and drive the ball, and got it done today.
They were in 2nd place, and it's good to get ahead of them. But the big thing that I found was I wasn't here for the beginning of the season, but I found that the guys are starting to relax, get into a groove, and it's nice to see everyone starting to find their own on this team and find their roles. And it's an awesome feeling to be a part of a team like this.
And now tonight we start a 5-part series that'll be on Wednesdays for a few weeks. We'll be getting some golf tips from a golf pro as you and I learn more about how to be better at this great game of leisure. Check it out. Well, Interior sports fans, I tried to be a Nana goalie. Now I'm going to try to be a golfer. So I reached out to James Contreras, a golf pro at the Fairbanks Golf Course. He has 40 years of experience and has been running golf clinics in Alaska for about 18 years. He's been at the Fairbanks Golf Course for the last couple of years. But before we take a swing, the first tip is to have the right equipment. What are we looking at when we're looking to our golf clubs? What do we need?
Golf clubs, well, it'd be great if you had a driver nowadays. You've got the big head drivers. They're a lot easier to hit, 460. Years ago, it was harder to hit these, but they're big now, so they're more fun. A hybrid's a nice club to hit. It's kind of a relatively new deal, too, the last 10 years. They're fairly easy to hit. You can have a fairway wood, but more importantly, if you want to get better, you need to have short games, so you need to use a sand wedge. A lot of people don't have that. Their set goes to a pitching wedge. And as far as everything else, maybe a 9-iron, a 7-iron, and a 5-iron would be good to start, and of course the putter.
Most definitely. Putter, you're talking about that short game. So we're looking at maybe what, 5 to 6, 7 clubs? We'll probably need these
probably
essentials?
7 clubs is all you need, so you don't have to invest in a whole set. You can get a little set first.
What are some clubs that we'll need? You know, if I'm starting off maybe at a 365 hole, like maybe a par 3, what am I looking at as well?
Well, same thing. So on a long par 4, you'd hit a driver, and then probably maybe a 7-iron, and then maybe chip and putt. So that'd be good. A par 3, that hole, then you just need to use one of your clubs. A lot of people use maybe a 7-iron from 150 yards or something like that. So, until you get better, these clubs should go 10 yards apart if you're a better golfer. But a lot of times people say, well, my 5-iron goes the same as my hybrid and my 3-wood. So until you get the proper technique, a lot of clubs will go the same distance, it seems like. So, you don't really need to keep changing all the clubs if you're fairly new.
Most definitely. And I'll be fairly new. Last time I golfed, I was pretty young. I think about 10, 11 years old. Okay. And he did mention technique, and that's something we're going to be getting into our next episode of Golf Tips with James Contreras. So stay tuned, Interior Sports fans, next week for another golf tip.
golf tips.
And that's it for sports tonight. Thanks for rocking with me for a little while. Mike Schultz is next with your full weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back into the Fbx Evening News. Time to take a look at the weather. Mike Schultz with you, and what a beautiful day across the interior. Lots of sunshine, a few scattered clouds. It looked like we were going to get showers earlier, but they just kind of moved on to the north, and things are looking really good. In fact, right on into the weekend, we're not expecting any rain, and temperatures right around the low to mid 70s each day, so a great weekend coming up. You know, it's only Wednesday, but we can get excited about that. Here's our photograph for today. This one's sent in by Tom Boran, a North Pole sunrise. As you can see here, once again, some very nice colors and nice silhouette. And as always, if you have a photograph you want to share, by all means, send it to photos@ktvf11.com, and we will share it with the rest of the audience. Out at the airport right now, how about that? 81 degrees. The record high, 87 degrees in 1915. Record low, 53. Actually, record low is 38. It's 53 right now. The record low was set in 1934. Sunrise and sunset, 20 hours and 39 minutes of daylight. That's a gain, actually a loss, I should say, of 6 minutes. I'm just trying to think opposite today. And on our satellite and radar, you can see we have lots of showers in the interior, but again, moving to the north of the Fairbanks area, and that looks like it's going to be their trend right on into the weekend, looking really good. Elsewhere across the state, here's what it looks like. As you can see, our radar will zoom in on around the Fairbanks area. Again, you can see the showers are moving to the north, and just a few lingering showers down to the south, but nothing expected tonight. Well, the rest of the state looks like this, and again, looking at this little rain around the Anchorage Bowl and rain around Kodiak Island. Also some rain at Nome, 66 degrees there. Chilly, 38 degrees at Barrow, and Fort Yukon at 66. Lower 48 weather, more thunderstorms erupting across the Central Plains and across the eastern slopes of the Rockies. Other than that, up and down the eastern seaboard, you see a little bit of shower activity going on. Nothing really heavy expected. The news is hot temperatures, very hot over a large portion of the country tomorrow, especially in the deep south, and the overall outlook is calling for the jet stream to remain well to the north. When that happens, that allows all the warm air from the tropics to move up. It becomes very humid over the eastern half of the country and dry and very hot over the western half. All right, back to Alaska for tomorrow as the northern sections look like this. Partly sunny skies for Barrow, mostly cloudy skies in the Nome area, and some showers or even isolated thunderstorms for Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, again, looking pretty good. Mainly scattered clouds and continue very warm for Fairbanks, Delta Junction, and Healy, with temperatures in the low to mid 70s around the Fairbanks area. Over southeast Alaska, the rain is out of the picture, suspending cloudy skies to continue for Juneau and for Ketchikan, while over the southwest part of the state, showers at Bethel and Cold Bay, heavy rain in Kodiak Island. And if you're heading on down to the Anchorage Bowl, for the most part, it looks like showers are expected at Anchorage, rain in Homer, and heavy rain for Valdez. All right, here's your forecast for the remainder of the night. For the Fairbanks area, 575 degrees. Wow, that's pretty darn hot. That's going to be the hottest temperature we've seen in a long time. Pretty nice evening, though. Otherwise, the scattered clouds, just don't go outside. You'll get fried. All right, tomorrow's forecast, cooling down, thank goodness. 76 degrees, partly cloudy skies and warm. And as far as the overall 5-day outlook, again, temperatures not nearly as warm as they're going to be tonight. 76 to 75 each day, overnight lows in the mid-50s. And I think the finger must have gotten accidentally the wrong key when I was putting those things together. But it's nice once in a while to have some humor there. And evidently it worked because you guys are all out.
575 degrees, people.
That's a hot one.
Bacon.
I bet you the phones are ringing upstairs already.
Somebody's got to screen capture that and put it on Facebook. That would be fantastic.
We'll make it on YouTube. There you go.
Very good. All right. Thank you, Mike. And that's going to wrap this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
All right. Tonight on NBC Nightly News, Gaza pays heavy prices as conflict with Israel intensifies. That's next with Brian Williams.
You can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
From all of us here at the News Center, hoping you stay cool tonight. Don't go outside, right? Have a good night. We'll see you at 11.